Hi guys, today it's time for another Top 5 Wednesday. This week's topic are your top 5 non-horror books that scare you. This is a really interesting topic for me because first of all, I don't really read horror. So it wasn't like, oh man, I'm so mad I can include any of my favorite horror books. Like, none at all. Not even like thrillers or anything. But then also, I really rarely get scared while reading. I don't really know what it is. Like, I hate horror movies. And I really can't watch them at all. I hate jump scares and every image haunts me for the rest of my life. Like, my cousin made me watch The Ring a good 15 years ago and it still haunts me until this day. So I don't really know why when I read books, even if they are supposed to be scary, or if some people say they are scary, I'm not getting scared by them or not even creeped out. Like, I found it so funny when people were saying Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children was apparently creepy. Anyway, I still tried to come up with a list because I do like this topic and I feel like it's a good topic for some discussion-y stuff. And I feel like it's a good topic to find out a little bit about me and my fears. My number 5 is Jane Unlimited by Christine Gauchon. Now, you're probably confused, but the description in the Goodreads group did say that, it didn't have to be like the whole book as it is. It could be like sections. And this is actually a book where you have an introduction and then like 5 different sections. And I think the third section is really weird and it just really kind of creeps you out. You're just really constantly being like, what the fuck is happening? And because this book is kind of dealing with like how your life goes if you choose different things, this section just ends without an explanation. Like this, it's just over and you're just there like, what just happened to me? This book is just this weird book overall, and I think that, the way it was done worked overall. But yeah, that definitely creeped me out. My number 4 is the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy by Laini Taylor. Now, I'm holding up the second one because I feel like this was mostly in the second and third book. And I talked a little bit about this in the Top 5 Wednesday 2 weeks ago on creepy settings. Angels really creep me out. And in this book, there's this like apocalypse that happens and it includes angels. But then also there's this like really weird guy that just really scared me. He is like the villain of the story, but he is a really creepy, disgusting villain. There's even an attempted rape by that dude, I think in the third book. And so there's just lots of things in these books that are really, really scary, especially if you don't like angels. But I just feel like in general this tone is just really kind of dark and it does kind of make you just feel a little bit weird and gives you goosebumps at some points. I think it also has to do with the way that Laini Taylor is just able to describe like epic battle scenes. I don't know, I feel like it has a lot to do with like just her writing style as well. My number 3 is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Now, this is a little bit hard because this also could have fitted for creepy settings, but it's just this book in general scared me, not even the setting alone. First of all, just this concept of getting a call on the day you die is just something that spirals me personally into I am very afraid of death panic. I hate that so much because I legit get fucking panic attacks. It's just so weird to me that we kind of live this like life and then we just die and we're gone forever. I mean, obviously if you believe in something else, like that's great for you and I would love to do that too, but somehow I can't. So for me, what I imagine after I die is just like eternal blackness, which is not great. And so reading They Both Die at the End kind of was me constantly being on the edge of falling down this hole of like death panic. And then also itself, it has some kind of scary moments, like there is basically a terrorist attack in it, and then also the father of one of the main characters is in a coma, and because my dad was in a coma a couple of years ago, I mean he's fine now and everything is good, but because I have such personal experience with that was really, really tough to read, and actually like I had to put the book down in several parts because it just was a little bit too much for me. Definitely a very, very personal experience. I'm pretty sure not a lot of people get scared by this book. I think most people are just like, I love life. I want to live life to the fullest. And I was just like, Ah! My number 2 is Numbers by Rachel Ward. Now, I think I will have a little bit of a hard time talking about why I thought this was scary, because it's just really this kind of distinct feeling that I remember while reading it. It just creeped me out so much. The main character in this one, and it is a whole trilogy, so this theme kind of goes on. She is able to see when people die. So when she looks people in the eye, she can see like their date of death. And that thought alone, oh my god, there's just parts in this book where, for example, the main character sees like the same number on every person that she's around. So she knows something is gonna happen, but then she can see her own number and nobody obviously believes her that something is happening. It's so creepy. I think it's another one where, similar to They Both Die at the End, it just kind of makes you think about death. And They Both Die at the End is kind of also interesting because it's a lot about like how you cannot escape death is kind of a theme, you know, because you get the call, and if you get the call, you're gonna die. Like, you can't fucking change it, however careful you are. And this is kind of a similar theme. It's from a very different point of view, but it deals with a similar theme, and so that also kind of always creeps me out. And just, I don't know, I mean, this character is basically always surrounded by death. Like, whoever she gets to meet and whoever she sees is like constantly seeing when they are gonna die. And just the end of this is so scary, and oh my god. But then also, especially in the second and third book, I think it just gave me such like weird feelings while reading it. I was just constantly like, this is, I don't know. As I said, this is hard for me to describe because I just remember this feeling I had while reading it. And finally, my number 1 is very different than the rest of these, because my number 1 is Asking for It by Louise O'Neill. And, you know, these are all like stupid fears that I have, or, you know, the Jane Unlimited is just like, oh, this is just kind of weird. I feel weird about it. Asking for It is a book about rape and the aftermath of it. What really scared me was not even like the actual rape itself, which obviously is horrible, like, don't get me wrong, but in this book we deal so much with how other people kind of react to it. And I remember my wrap up because I teared up in it, and it still makes me feel so horrible. I remember especially her dad could not handle the situation at all and just really kind of stopped talking to her, and kind of, he was just basically saying it's her fault, and he just couldn't look her in the eyes anymore. And I feel horrible just thinking about it, and it's now been a couple of months since I read it. Like, I almost feel odd putting this book on this list, because while this is obviously not a horror book, it's still somehow a horror book. And I feel like if you read this and you come out of it and you weren't scared, then you don't understand that this is a reality that so many people go through every day. Just this whole situation, the way the people blame her for it, the way everybody just kind of talks about it, everybody thinks they have a right to talk about it. It's just horrible. It's so fucking horrible. It's really fucking scary, and it's so real. And I think that's exactly what makes it so scary, and that's also exactly what makes it my number 1. I mean, way to kind of darken the mood. I feel really weird now being like, so that's my top 5. Thank you so much for watching. But yeah, definitely an interesting topic. I would absolutely love to hear some of the books that scare you, that are not in the horror genre. Any like particular fears maybe that you have while reading one of those, or just one where like this real life situation, like in Asking for It, was just a little bit too much to handle. I think it would just be really interesting to hear some of your fears that you sometimes encounter in books. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I guess I'll see you soon. Bye!